Alright, so first of all, I'm not going to spoil anything in this review. If you haven't seen the movie, you're okay to watch this, but if you just feel like you have to click off this video, then go ahead. I don't blame you. I hate spoilers. I hate people who spoil this, so I completely understand. With that, I'm going to just give you my opinion on this movie because I feel like everybody tries to do a splashy review and they try to describe what this movie's about and who directed it and blah blah blah, and I'm just not going to do that shit. I mean, like, everybody knows who directed this movie. Everybody knows what this movie is about. I didn't even know what the Suicide Squad was until I saw Smallville, and even then I was like, what the hell does this team mean? Like, what's the significance of this team? I have no idea. And so, like, I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, okay, I actually kind of like this. And I don't claim to be a comic book expert, believe me. Like, I don't read comics. I read the wiki of the comics and the stories behind it, and that's what I appreciate more. And I appreciate the art of the comics and everything. And I consider myself a comic book movie nerd. I love comic book movies and stuff, and I hate comic book movies because they're almost all the same now. And it's like, pfft, we all know the outcome of it, so why should we watch it in the first place? It's like pretty much after Endgame is like, no point, whatever. And it's a DC movie too, right? So it's like, ugh, DC. I mean, I'm the guy who likes Batman and Robin, so I mean, come on, I like anything that's DC. I like Steel, okay? If anybody knows what Steel is, it's that movie Shaq made way long ago, and it was horrible, horrible. So with that being said, I actually really liked this movie, and I liked the other Suicide Squad too. So you can take my review for what it is. Like I said, it's just my opinion on what I like and what other people may like or not like. So I liked this movie for what it was. It was a fun, action movie. And it was a good comic book movie too. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, they didn't follow the source material. Ugh. If you want a source material thing, read a comic book. Leave the movies to people that enjoy that type of stuff. For a good 2 hours and whatever, it's not bad to sit through. And even though it's rated R, I mean, maybe a couple bad swear words there, but you can honestly take your kids to see this. I mean, if you took them to see Deadpool, you pretty much don't care what goes on in these type of movies. And there's no real nudity or anything in there. I mean, eh. I mean, if you watch wrestling, I mean, it's pretty much half naked people anyway, so it's like, there you go again. And speaking of, it's like, I really like John Cena. I'm a John Cena fan, but I'm not entirely a fan of his acting so much. But even this movie, he did pretty well, and he was pretty funny in it. And the spots where he was supposed to be funny was funny, and the spots where he was supposed to be serious was serious. Idris Elba did a good job. The discount Deadshot, whatever. I know he's a different character name. Don't bite my head off, and stuff like that. And oh, and if you want to know, there is a cutscene at the end of the movie. So if you want to wait and watch it like I do, then you can do that. But yeah, basically, I give it like a 6 out of 10 maybe. As far as DC movies go, a part of that universe that they're still trying to build or whatever. And as far as a DC movie, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. As far as a comic book movie, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. It's a decent action movie, and like, if you don't want to take it too seriously, it's pretty good to watch. And if you have HBO Max, it's like pretty much free, so you can watch it there. But if you want like an in-depth video about comic book knowledge or like Easter eggs, then you check out those other channels because I don't do that stuff. This is just my opinion on what I thought the movie was. It had its hits and misses. Some of the characters I got, some I didn't, but that's like, I'm not a big comic book guy, so I'm like, okay. But for who the people that returned to the roles, they did a much better job in these roles than they did in the last ones. And it just proves that with better direction and like, you know, just stuff like that, better story and everything, they can be good at what they do. So, I never had a problem with that. Even like Viola Davis, I didn't really have a problem with her in the first one. It was just the whole movie in general kind of, but I would give it a watch anyways, because if you're into comic book stuff and stuff like that, it's fun to watch. And just basically, I mean, I thought it was a fun movie. I was entertained, and I like stupid stuff, and I hate stupid stuff, and it's like sometimes it takes a lot for me to get entertained. But and like most of the now, I'm kind of burnt out on comic book stuff anyways. After Endgame, it's like why bother? But this was a good try. And as far as sequels go that try to reboot some things, they did a good job with what they had. And so if they make another movie, I would be interested in seeing this, and I would just go ahead and give this a try in general. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. So let me know if you liked this movie or you hated it. If you want a sequel to it, what are your thoughts? Let me know below. Thanks.